You might remember when we introduced this transcendent face pack, we were able to put together a team that AI generated 100,000 faces that look real, but aren't actually real. Well, we've made it even better, and we've made it work on FM22 better than it ever has before. As my save on FM22 continues to progress, which if you haven't watched is down at a link in the description. Haha! I got that one in earlier than usual. Ever cringe at your own jokes? Because I do a lot. But on that save, I'm now into my second year, which means I've brought in a youth intake. A youth intake that for a club of my level is actually suspiciously good. We've got a couple of guys that have at least decent potential, and one, Martin Radakovic, who is essentially the second coming of Messi. I mean, just look at that. Well, let's say you don't actually want the head of a goat on your best youth player. Well, that's where our Newgen software comes into play. Because brief recap, we created a pack of 100,000 faces that are computer generated that actually go into the game in an ethnically accurate way, and you can re-update each time you get a youth intake so that every new gen in the game has an ethnically accurate face that looks freaking real. That's what this is. If you already had this face pack, you might not know that it is being continually updated. We're on version 1.3 now to fix some of the key issues that we observed in the initial launch of the pack, which caused some different crashes and had to do with different face stuff. But we're going to go through a tutorial about how you can keep your faces on previous saves while updating the Newgen application in the first place so that you can get the best user experience. Oh my god, I sound like a corporate PR guy. Somebody save me from my personal hell. I swear this was made just by a couple of guys in sweatpants. I swear.
Sounds exactly like something Mark Zuckerberg would say.
But really, I've sat down. Gestalt is on a Discord call with me right now, the person that designed the application, and we have figured out how to preserve your old profiles so that when you update the app, you can keep your old faces. I can keep my faces on the Oriental Dragon save while also having a new profile with my faces in FM22 that are working for Floridsdorfer. It's beautiful. But we did have an issue, as we noticed in FM21, our inaugural effort at this Newgen manager, that there was an over-Africanization of South American and Central American players. They were getting assigned darker skinned faces when their actual in-game models were lighter skinned. There was also the same issue with too many Asian faces popping up in South America in particular, where there is an Asian minority, but it was too prominent. If you want to download the app for the first time, then you aren't going to need to go through this process, and you will understand what the heck I'm talking about later. There's actually this lovely video that I will also include in the description, and a link to the FM base site where you can download everything if you are installing everything for the first time. But even if you're doing that, you'll need to know how to update it eventually, because we're working on some more fun, exciting improvements, and obviously always trying to iron out any bugs. So this video will still be useful for you. And let's now actually get into how you can update your Newgen manager to get the new version and keep all of your old data. So you're going to want to open File Explorer. If you're on a Mac, you're going to need to find the same files, but this isn't going to be a tutorial that's going to teach you how to do it. It's still possible, and I'm hoping that somebody in the description is going to be able to put that together, but my laptop has officially gone kaput, so right now I don't actually have access to a Mac to make that tutorial. As long as you can find the same files, though, this process still works. You go into File Explorer, and you're going to want to go to Local App Data. You put the money sign in there, and then Local App Data money sign again. That's not a money sign, that's a percent sign. I need sleep. Gestalt's making fun of me. Somebody help. Local App Data, percent signs, Local App Data. You hit enter. Then you go down to Programs, and then you go into shut up. Newgen Manager, App, Newgen Manager again, .user. So you want it to say Programs, Newgen Manager, App, Newgen Manager, .user. And where we are now are your specific written word profile stuff. And what we're trying to do is take everything that the new application that you're downloading is going to need to be able to point the faces to the right location and remember your old profiles. So find the profiles that you need, the profiles that you want to save, which in my case is that's the profile for with the ODFC faces. And so you want the XML file, the JSON file from you can do this with multiple profiles. So if I wanted to take my other profile I made called no profile, I know I'm very creative. If you wanted to take both of them or 3 of them or 4 of them or 5 of them, you have 5 different saves with Newgen running, that's fine. You can just make sure you take the JSON file and the XML file. You want to take both. Once you're done with that, you want to get the CFG file as well. You can hold control and click all of them, whatever floats your boat. Just make sure you select all of them, or you select one at a time and then copy and paste them somewhere else, because that's what we're doing. You don't need default CFG, but you do need CFG. You want to copy and then find a location that's just somewhere random. In my case, it's my desktop, because I do not care about organization at all. I have a bunch of nonsense on my desktop, like Newgen transition, and then you copy and you paste that information somewhere outside of Newgen itself. So once you've done that, you're gonna need to actually delete everything that Newgen stands for. You're gonna need to get rid of the old application. And so to do that, we're going to type in Newgen in the search window. We're gonna right click and we're gonna uninstall. It opens you up to this programs and features page. All you need to do is find Newgen. It'll be running somewhere with this guy's distorted head. And you're just going to right click that and you're going to uninstall. In the future, don't show me this dialog box. Depends. Do you want to live life dangerously? I don't. So now Newgen should no longer be there. In order to make sure that Newgen is gone, though, you need to go to File Explorer and you need to go back to Local App Data, which I typed correctly, for the record. You hit enter, go down to programs, the same we did before. We're looking for the same stuff. And you want to find Newgen Manager and you want to delete that too. Especially if you've been having bugs or issues, you need to get rid of that file, because it's typically this file that causes those bugs and issues from previous versions. So even though you've uninstalled the full application, it's still left some remnant information that you need to get rid of. So you want to come in here and delete that as well. Now Newgen, except for those files you pulled out, is completely off your computer, and we can go download the new version. To do that, you're going to want to hit this link in the description, which of course I pitched you to earlier if you haven't had to update it yet. You're going to want to go to download. Maybe check out the updates. Oh, sheesh. What does version 1.3 have to do? Wow, look at those words that Zealand typed. Don't they look nice? Look at that formatting. When you're done admiring the formatting, you go to download, and it will take you to a GitHub page. When you scroll to the bottom of this GitHub page, you will see the face packs, which of course you need if you don't have the actual faces yet. But assuming that you do, because we're here to update, you're going to want to download version 1.3 of the appropriate operating system, which means if you have a Mac, download Mac. If you have a Windows, download Windows. I have Windows. Only one though. I live in New York City. So then we click on this and we're going to download it. I want to just download it in Documents, so I'm going to click Documents, ignore the fact that FIFA 21 is here and that I'm not cheating on Football Manager, and click Save. I'm going to do a little show in folder action, and this is currently zipped. So if you're on Mac, you're going to need to use Unarchiver to open it. Don't pay for anything. It's completely free. And the same on Windows, right? I'm going to show in folder, right click, and if you have 7-zip, you can just 7-zip and extract here. So pay close attention, because I just accidentally messed something up while Gestalt was watching. So when you have this, you want to extract files, but don't just extract here. Don't skip any steps. You want to extract files, pick a destination, and then extract it there. And you'll see filters, views, and windows. You want to go to Windows, and that is where you're going to be able to run Newgen. This whole installation page will step up. You'll click through it. It will install and create the application that you are going to use. So now if you go into the bottom left and you type in Newgen, as I am so masterfully doing now, the application is back. But we don't have our profiles in yet, so we need to go get those. You probably remember all the hops, skips, and jumps. Well, I left my programs file open. So local app data, programs, Newgen Manager, app, Newgen Manager.user, and as you can see, all of this nonsense is already here, but it's not helping me. This isn't the stuff that was already here. So I open up my Newgen transition folder, which is the thing that I saved on my desktop with these 3 things. And I'm going to click the top one, click the bottom one, hold shift, and all of a sudden I got all 3. I drag them over, replace files and destination, and life is good, because we just replaced the CFG and we've got our profile in here, which means that when I reload the Newgen Manager application, our profile for Oriental Dragon is there, but the application is new, more bulletproof than ever, and has improved face mapping. Awesome, right? All right, so I'm going to create a new profile. This is going to be up the Dorfers, which is a bit more of an applicable name, and we're going to go to up the Dorfers, select the image directory, which is your pile of faces, wherever it happens to be, which I believe I haven't even dragged to FM22 yet, so I'm going to need to do that. So I've moved my Newgen file over from last year, all this fancy fun stuff, and I just need to find that in my directory. And if you feel like you missed a step, you don't know what's going on, there's a more complete, detailed guide about how to do this process, particularly for the first time, at the video link down in the description. Now I need to create the RTF file. There are a couple of ways to do this, because if you apply the filter, then every player in your club's knowledge that is a regen is going to pop up, but obviously other players that your club hasn't met yet would not have faces when you go and happen to look at them. So if you have the editor enabled, you can just show all players in player search and they will all pop up. But another bulletproof way that Gestalt has mentioned is that if you add another head coach, that head coach in their player search will automatically be able to see everybody. So you don't need the in-game editor enabled. If you add a second head coach, just unemployed nobody, for a second, they can see everybody and you can do it off their player search and then just retire the head coach and you're good. But what you need is a player search that is showing every regen in the game. So like Tyrone Mintz has got a face, and then you just click the top one, control all the way to the bottom, which fortunately takes no time at all. One small thing, if you are using the editor, make sure that you don't exclude players on your team, because then every other regen in the world is going to get a new face except for the players you actually want to get a new face. So be sure that you remove that. Then you're going to want to make sure that your view is set. This is just like a nice refresher. You want to import view. You want to import the player search view. And then when you load that in, it deselects everybody, and then you have to select everyone again. That's all right. We're falling so that you don't have to. Control P, and we're going to create our RTF file, which is text file. And then in FM22, you can just save it at the bottom and say Dorfers, if you want to keep this organized, Dorfers 2022, and that is saved. And then we go into the application and we find that RTF file. So Dorfers 2022, which would be an FM22 Zealand. We're playing FM22. All right, awesome. And we are going to want to generate faces because it's the first time we're doing this. If it's not, you want to preserve faces. Always click allow duplicates just in case. It helps the app run really smoothly. And then you click replace faces. And now it works. Yep, there it is. See, I told you, it always makes it seem like your computer's about to explode, and then it works. So let's go down and click on a random player. Let's say Yuta Miyazaki, and boom, now we got a face. Just like that, it works. It's more crash resistant than ever. The faces are more accurate than ever. There's still not 100% because of some minutia in the code, but it's at a level now that having just clicked through with Gestalt for 20 minutes, it's unnoticeable. We can't find a face that's wrong so far, and that is really, really nice when you are looking for the problem and can't even find it. So we're really happy with the way this update has come out, and I hope it makes your FM22 experience as good as possible, and you don't even have to get rid of your faces on FM21 or FM20 or whatever in order to have this new version. So everything's looking up. So if you watch the video and watch the guide and you actually really try and make it work, it should be working pretty easily. If it doesn't, then of course reach out to us and we got you. See you on another stream or another video. Thank you as always to the team that puts this together, all the love and the claps to Gestalt and all of the contributors on GitHub. Thank you. Enjoy. And now I'm just gonna have you say hi. That's gonna be like a quick cut thing, so just say hi.
Hi. You really want my voice? Come on.